there, I'm Andrew, you're watching ThatGamerAjax, and welcome to this week's episode of our D&D Class Basics series, where we discuss the D&D classes. That way if you're a new player and you're trying to figure what might be the best fit for you, you can get a little bit of informal information. This week we're going to be discussing the Sorcerer, which gets its magic inherited through a bloodline rather than a divine agent such as a cleric or through study like a wizard. Sorcerers are a really fun class that usually has a very strong identity, though you don't have quite as many options as you do with some of the other magical classes. Let's go ahead and dive right into some of the strengths of the Sorcerer, starting with its Metamagic. Metamagic is a very kind of unique game mechanic that allows you to flesh out your spells a little different than some of the other classes. For example, one of the major traits that I like to use with the Sorcerer that I'm currently playing is called Subtle Spell. This makes it so you can cast a spell without having to say anything in game, and you don't need to make any kind of hand motions or anything like that. It's very good for being able to get a drop on somebody. Another example of Metamagic is that you can extend the range of a spell, or you can also kind of sculpt the spell if it's something that has a large area of effect, that you can actually protect allies that might be in that blast zone, so that way you don't hurt them. There's a lot of ways that you can use Metamagic, but it takes a little bit of time to be able to learn how exactly those applications can be put into any kind of situation. In my opinion, Sorcerers also have an incredibly strong identity because of the types of Sorcerers that are currently available. Because of this, they get a lot of really good combat and roleplay mechanics added in through their unique traits. For the example of my Storm Sorcerer, I've just hit the point where I can control winds around me. This can be used in quite a few different ways, but I mean, really it's just there for flavor more than anything else. Sorcerers are also kind of flexible when it comes to the casting classes. You're able to trade out your spells on a bi-level basis. That way when you level, say, from level 1 to level 2, you're able to take, one of the spells that's maybe not working for you so well, and you can trade that out. Now, while this is great in the early game, it does also make it so you need to really look over the spells that you're going to be taking as you go a little further into it. In terms of weaknesses, Sorcerers have a very boring leveling, at least in my opinion. Because you are primarily focused only on magic, the main thing that you're going to be getting is additional spells and the ability to cast more spells on a daily basis. Metamagic is also a trait that, while it is very good, it does take a little while to learn the overall nuances of it. So this is something that really give yourself the flexibility to improvise and adapt as the situation arises. Because you are a slightly flexible caster, as I mentioned before, you really just need to make sure that you're looking over the spells with the Sorcerer as well. So in conclusion, Sorcerers are a very fun and very identifiable class when it comes to D&D. I would recommend this if you are the kind of player that wants to branch into magic, but you don't necessarily want to go through the complexities of playing something like a wizard, for example, and you don't really want to be trading your spells out on a regular basis. It is a very fun class, at least from the experiences of the two Sorcerers that I've played, and I'm having a blast with the current one that I'm doing. Now I'd like to go ahead and reach out to the community. If you've played a Sorcerer before, what are some tips that you might be able to provide to a new player? What are some of the ways that you use your Metamagic trait that others might not know so much about? Let's go ahead and get a little conversation going below, and don't forget to check out some of the other videos in the series. I really hope they help you out. Bye.